everyone. Rich Hagan, Brian David Marshall, bringing things to a close here on day 2 of 3 of the final Pro Tour of the 2014-2015 Pro Tour season here in Vancouver. Pro Tour Magic Origins. Brian David Marshall, what happened today then?
Well, what happened today is we took all these players who were on day 2 and we basically did this.
Oh, okay. Do I get this bit?
You can have that bit.
Thank you.
This is the final standings going into day 3. 8 players.
I feel something did not go well there for me.
Yeah, well, it worked out perfectly.
Good, okay. Well, come on then, since I don't clearly know. Who finished first?
Kentaro Yamamoto from Japan. We saw him top 4 at Worlds to start this year in the World Championship. He was one of the, started off on fire. Pretty solid season, ends with a bang. He's our top finisher here in the Swiss going into the top 8 tomorrow.
Platinum this season will now be platinum next season. For a while, it looked like if he won tomorrow, he could be Player of the Year. That's no longer true, but even so, phenomenal performance.
Right, but Player of the Year is certainly not settled yet.
No, we'll talk about that once we get to number 8, shall we? Number 2.
Stephen Neal from the United States. His first top 8 performance, someone we see regularly on the Pro Tour, see often on the Grand Prix circuit. He's having his breakthrough performance. How about Patrick Cox?
So this is number 3
This
for
is
him.
number 3 for him. He's been sort of steadily putting those finishes up. Team Ultra Pro continues to be the most successful team at the Pro Tour through the last 3 quarters of the season.
Right, they really have got their ducks lined up in a row, and they just keep putting great players into great positions to win.
Yeah, absolutely. I just talked to Stefan Barrios. He's with Team Hot Sauce Games, maybe a team poised to become the next big team.
This is like Ray Perez Jr., the reigning Rookie of the Year.
Yes.
He's on that team.
Yeah, we did a deck tech with Ray Perez Jr. He's playing, he and Stefan Barrios are playing a similar blue-red artifact deck. Barrios is someone who's been going at this game since 1994. I'm sorry, since 1997 when he was 13 years old, who has been really striving to be on the Pro Tour. He's at 8 basically swings at the Pro Tour without success.
And I mean, it's an overall losing record from those 8. And he keeps coming back, finding a way to get back, and he found the way to get it done.
And I asked him, I said, did you doubt yourself? And he's like, oh no, I always knew this was possible. And you have to admire that spirit. And I can't wait to see what he and his sort of upstart team will do tomorrow.
Okay, that's 4. Let's have number 5.
Your Australian World Magic Cup champion is Paul Jackson.
Right.
Paul Jackson, again, someone who has been just making a sort of steady go of it. He got himself to gold with 2 rounds to go, got himself into the World Magic Cup discussion from Australia, and now, is playing for, a seat maybe at the World Championship tomorrow if he wins, platinum, and, great story there for him.
Yep, absolutely. I think he would need the final for platinum, and obviously if he wins, that's automatic. So that would be great. But in any case, Australia, set your watches, because goodness knows what time 9 a.m. tomorrow is for you. I think it's probably Monday evening, something like that. But right, next.
Matt Sperling. Again, a second top 8 for Team Ultra Pro, a second top 8 for Matt Sperling. We joked in the interview we did that he's a corset specialist.
Well, Pat Cox was in that same top 8, Magic 2015 in Portland.
So they're fighting for the title of corset specialist.
Right, indeed.
Matt Sperling playing an obs on deck, really taking his cues from Patrick Chapin on this one. He's like, you know what? I've got these great players on the team. I am going to just pay attention to what's going on here. And, he's like, he got to help out with Adrian Sullivan, last Pro Tour, and now he has his team working for him overnight to get him ready for the top 8.
Okay, well, let's see who else is going to gate crash this party.
How about Joel Larson, a gate crash finalist? Joel Larson, his second Pro Tour top 8. And then we have a saucy one.
Yeah, so number 8 isn't necessarily about the who, it's about the what to an extent, right?
Yeah, Mike Sigrist. Both Joel Larson and Mike Sigrist got in on tiebreakers. There was a scrum of players on 36 points with 4 losses. It was a very big tournament, and it opened up the possibility for 2 4-loss players to get into the top 8. Joel was the first one. Mike Sigrist was the last one to squeak in, and that opens the door for, Player of the Year and U.S. national champion for Mike Sigrist. He can take the lead over from Eric Froelich, who had a phenomenal tournament after a terrible start.
Right, so he opened up at 0-3, came back, was at 3-4, had to win his last round yesterday just to come back today. Today, he went win, 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 that's draft done, 7-4, win, 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 and by the time we got to 9 wins, he had clawed back all the disadvantage he'd had over Li Chan and Sam Black, who were tied for second. And then suddenly, into view came Shahar Shenhar and Mike Sigrist looking for a top 8. Now, as it turns out, Eric has a draw in the last round here, took a draw. So now we know that tomorrow Mike Sigrist will have to come back and has a shot at Player of the Year. We're down to 2, Sigrist or Froelich. Froelich has no more matches to play this season. Sigrist has 1, 2, or 3. Will we have a Sigrist Player of the Year? Will it be a Froelich Player of the Year? You will find that out tomorrow. Why don't we take a look at the leaderboard just to give you a sense of how things panned out. There you see...
Do I have to tear this too?
No, don't do that. That would be very bad. There you see Joe Larson and Mike Sigrist, the heads of the 12 and 4s. Rich Hone finished in 9th place. Tommy Ashton in 10th. Great job by him. And Nathan Holliday locked up gold last week. Yet again demonstrates he's one of the best players around on the tour. And well done to Mark Jacobson. We featured him. He was in the very first draft pod that we looked at yesterday morning and did really well. He beat William Jensen in round 1. He beat a Platinum Pro in round 2. And he kept on trucking, 11-4-1. Commiserations, a couple of Europeans there, Valentin Mackel, Fabian Dickman, and barely had a chance to mention Bart Lewandowski, 11-4-1, the Polish player. That's tremendous effort by him. And some others you may well know there, like a certain Hall of Famer in Frank Karsten.
And a freshly elected Hall of Famer in Eric Froelich.
That's right, because this was the weekend where not just Eric Froelich, but also Shota Yasuoka of Japan and Willie Adler of Brazil made it in to the Hall of Fame. But tomorrow is not about the Hall of Fame.
No, that'll be for Pro Tour Battle for Zendikar.
And it's not even really about the Player of the Year, because only one person's playing in that race, and someone's watching eagerly. What's Eric Froelich going to do tomorrow, by the way, do you reckon?
You know, Eric Froelich's going to be in the booth with us. A little white-knuckled commentary. And how do you feel about that play, Eric?
Yeah. What do you think Sigrist should do here? Lose.
You know, it's very funny. I did talk to Eric about that. I said, how's that going to feel? Is that going to be weird? And he said, you know what? Mike Sigrist is a great expletive Magic player. You know, and he said, and if Mike Sigrist beats me and he is the national champion and he is the Player of the Year, I'll be upset for myself. I'll be sad, but I'll be very happy for Mike Sigrist. So
right. So that's one race. But 8 people come back tomorrow knowing that $40,000 could be theirs. The champion of Pro Tour Magic Origins, that title could be theirs. And they would then get to go to the World Championship at PAX next month. So much still to come. 364 days gone, 1 day of the Pro Tour season still to go. Don't you dare miss a thing. You know where to come for all the action. Until we meet on day 3, the final day of the Magic season, for Brian David Marshall and all the WotC team, I'm your host, Rich Hagan, saying bye.